Under the vast, star-drenched Alaskan sky, the Aurora Research Station stood as a beacon of human curiosity. Isolated from civilization by miles of frozen wilderness, it hummed quietly with the energy of its advanced instruments. Inside, the air was thick with focus as scientists tracked atmospheric anomalies and deep space transmissions. Dr. Evelyn Hart adjusted her noise-canceling headset, her eyes fixed on the array of monitors in front of her. A cup of cold coffee sat forgotten beside her as she scanned a sequence of data. For the past 6 months, her life had revolved around interpreting static, pulses, and cosmic white noise. Yet tonight felt different. The faint crackle of the radio waves seemed intentional. She frowned, fingers flying across the keyboard. The waveform on her screen repeated in a way that sent a chill down her spine. Tones and pauses, too deliberate to be natural. "Malcolm," she called out, her voice steady despite the rapid thumping of her heart. "You've got to see this." Malcolm Tate, her colleague and occasional skeptic, shuffled into the room, clutching a steaming mug of coffee. "What now, Evelyn?" he muttered. "Another false alarm?" "Just look," she said, gesturing to the monitor. He leaned over her shoulder, his brow furrowing as he analyzed the waveform. "Well, I'll be damned," he murmured. That's not random." Evelyn nodded. "I've already ruled out interference. This is external, and it's not from Earth." Malcolm's skepticism melted into intrigue. He pulled up a second terminal, running the signal through various filters. The more they analyzed, the more undeniable the pattern became. It was repeating, layered and precise, like a message waiting to be decoded. "How far out is this coming from?" Malcolm asked. Evelyn hesitated. "Beyond the solar system." The array pinpointed it near Proxima Centauri. Malcolm's jaw tightened. "You're telling me we've got an alien signal?" Evelyn's voice dropped to a whisper. "It's looking that way." The following hours passed in a blur of activity. Evelyn and Malcolm worked tirelessly to record and analyze the signal. Every second it continued felt like borrowed time, as if the cosmos might abruptly change its mind and take the message back. "There's a pattern within the pattern," Evelyn muttered, her eyes glued to the screen. "It's like layers of meaning. Whoever sent this wanted it to be understood." Malcolm stared at the data, his excitement tempered by caution. "Or it's bait," he said. "How do we know it's friendly?" Evelyn shot him a glance. "We don't. But isn't that why we're here? To listen?" Before he could respond, the station's intercom crackled to life. "Dr. Hart, Dr. Tate, we've got a power fluctuation in the main array," a technician reported. "It's unusual." Evelyn grabbed her coat. "I'll check it out." Outside, the Arctic air bit at her skin despite her heavy parka. The aurora borealis painted the sky in waves of green and purple, its ethereal beauty almost distracting her from the task at hand. She trudged toward the main array, a cluster of enormous satellite dishes pointed skyward. Reaching the control panel, Evelyn ran diagnostics. The readings were strange. Power levels spiked and dipped unpredictably, as though something or someone was interfering. She adjusted the settings, her breath fogging the cold air. Suddenly, a low hum vibrated through the ground, faint but undeniable. Evelyn froze, her eyes scanning the darkness. The sound grew louder, more resonant, as if the earth itself was responding to the signal. A burst of static erupted in her headset, followed by something else. A voice? It was faint and distorted, but unmistakably there. "Evelyn," Malcolm's voice cut through the static. "Get back inside. Now." Back in the control room, Malcolm's face was pale. "The signal, it's changing," he said. "It's reacting to us." Evelyn stared at the screen. The waveform had evolved, its patterns shifting in real time. It was as if the sender knew they were being watched. "This isn't just a message," she said, her voice trembling. "It's alive." As the night wore on, the situation grew more intense. The signal's layers revealed a map, coordinates pointing to a remote location in the Pacific Ocean. Evelyn and Malcolm argued over what to do next. "We need to notify someone," Malcolm insisted, "and risk them shutting us out," Evelyn countered. Their debate was cut short by an alarm. The station systems began to fail, monitors flickering and lights dimming. The signal's intensity spiked, filling the room with a resonant hum that rattled their teeth. "What's happening?" Evelyn shouted over the noise. Malcolm pointed to the main screen, where the coordinates now glowed brighter than ever. "I think they're waking something up." By dawn, the hum had stopped, but the station's crew was shaken. Evelyn couldn't shake the feeling that they had crossed a line, that their curiosity had stirred something ancient and powerful. She stood at the observation window, watching the auroras fade with the morning light. "We're not alone," she whispered. Malcolm joined her, his expression grim. "No, and I'm not sure we ever were."